How you doing, brother? First of all, I would like you to introduce yourself. Tell me where you come from, what is your background, and then we go
Yeah.
from it, my G.
All right then. Yeah, so my name is AP36. I'm from Southeast London, the borough of Greenwich, but Woolwich to be precise. My background, my mum is Nigerian and my dad's from Ghana, so I'm half and half. Everybody always asks, how's that possible? But here I am in it. This is
Yeah,
possible.
it's
So
the Black
yeah,
Star.
yeah, literally. I was born in Italy. I come
Oh,
over
nice.
here when I was 4 years old. Come over here when I was 4 years old, and I lived on a estate called the Ferrer Estate, Kidbrook. The estate's been knocked down now. But
Okay.
yeah, so I moved from Kidbrook when I was about 14, let's say, and then from there I moved to a place called Eltham,
Yeah.
and then obviously yeah, from Eltham I met a lot. I met other people along the way, and then yeah,
And then
that's
you.
pretty much.
No, very interesting, brother, because there is a lot of, let's start from the beginning. You say your mother, she's from Ghana and your dad is from Nigeria.
No, my
They
mom's from
pro
Nigeria. My dad's from
and
Ghana.
yes,
Yeah,
for Ghana.
yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So they met probably in Italy, no?
Yeah, they met in Italy. They met in Italy.
Yeah. Yeah, because
In
there's a lot of
Italy.
immigration straight to Italy, a lot of Nigerian also, and they took over
Yeah.
the Nigerian, they took over the drug business in Italy. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, yeah. I've heard some stories.
It's a
I've heard some
big gang,
stories.
those Nigerians. They're a big gang
Is it?
worldwide.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, we're everywhere, man. We're like travelers, you know?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Those Nigerian in Africa, because I'm African myself, I'm from North
Yeah.
Africa. I'm half Tunisian, half Algerian also,
Wow.
so,
Wow.
but born and bred in Paris, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So yes, it's very interesting. And I know there is a big community of African in Italy. So they came over,
Yeah.
they built their life. But very interesting that they came to England because Nigerians, they're more connected with England. So that's why
Yeah.
probably they came to England.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how was it when you arrived in? You were quite small. How old were you again, my brother, when you
I was
arrived?
I was 4 years old.
Yeah. So you,
Four
you
years
don't
old.
remember very much.
I don't remember, yeah, not yeah. I just remember yeah, I remember coming over here and living with
Yeah.
my auntie at the time.
Yeah.
And then my mum
But
come
so
over.
yeah, okay. But you grown up as a teenager in London. You
Yeah,
grown up as a
yeah.
teenager. How was it as growing up in a teenager, being from no African background? How it is exactly?
It was very
Uh,
strict. It was very strict, let's say, like everyone asks like how did I turn up? Like how did I end up going the way I went in life? But it was just I would say being around the wrong crowd. I started smoking weed from a young age. So let's say 12. I was about
yeah.
12 or 13,
Very young.
roughly.
Very, very young.
Yes. Yeah. So it's just like hanging around with I would say hanging around with I wouldn't say wrong crowd, but I always find myself I was getting in trouble. I was about 13 when I first got arrested for street robbery. And then I managed to finish school. But then once I left school, obviously my mum and dad split up when I was about 15.
Yeah,
So
that's very young.
yeah, so from there I kind of just I found
Yeah,
myself more on the streets, more roaming
but
around
but bro,
different
but
people.
brother, if I may ask, my brother, you say you found yourself, starting to do robberies, doing street stuff. Um, um, why? Because of the economical context, because there is no money at home, because you need to feed it yourself, because you need to wear the Nikes, looking for like the other kids. This is why?
Yeah, so basically when I was young, I didn't have a phone. So it started from there. Like everyone, like back in the day, they had it was a phone called NEC. So it's like the camera used to roll around.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember that one.
I remember
So
that, man.
yeah, so I remember saying to my parents I wanted a phone. They didn't want to get me a phone. So obviously being around the wrong crowd, um, like the man them used to do a lot of robberies. So obviously one time I went with them, ended up robbing someone, taking their phone, and then it just started from there, really.
So when you got arrested at 13 years old, brother, because I got arrested so many times, and my
Yeah,
mom,
yeah,
it was a nightmare for her, except
yeah.
especially when the cops knock at your door and say, yes, we want Danny. You know this shit. We want him, and she got mad, because us, North African family and African family in general, our
Yeah,
parents, they are very honest people. They
yeah,
have also
yeah.
they think about what our neighbor would say, what the family would say
Literally,
about us.
literally, it's always like that, bro. Like, I remember when I got arrested, my aunties, like everyone come to, there was a family meeting. Like, I got in trouble. I remember even for like, I think like a couple of weeks, I had to go stay with my auntie for a while, and then I come back home. But then, like from then, like I stopped smoking weed. I was more focused in school, and then when my mum and dad split up, that's when everything started to change because obviously my dad wasn't around, so I felt like my mom couldn't really tell me nothing.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? And then also I fell out with my dad as well, so I felt like he couldn't really tell me nothing. And then from then, like I felt like I was the man of the house, so
yeah, yeah.
obviously you gotta provide. Do you know what I mean? So I got kicked out when I was 16. Got kicked out of my house when I was 16, and then that's where it really started from.
But as a young teenager, as a teenager, brother, smoking weed, because I know about it. I start also very young
Mm.
smoking. I don't smoke that much. Just sometimes now.
Yeah.
But as a young, do you think that it doesn't make you? How can I say it? You have lack of attention. You don't concentrate it very well. Does it destroy the health? I would say, because I always say
It
this.
definitely does.
Weed
It definitely
destroy the
does.
health.
It definitely does because obviously I've started smoking weed now. So like obviously here and there I might have a cheeky little spliff here and there,
Yeah.
but it's very rare. And noticing that since I've stopped smoking weed, I've noticed a huge difference. Like my concentration skills is more, I'm more focused, I'm more aware of things. But when you're high, it's just like you're not really taking in everything, what's going on around you. You know what I mean?
Yes, I understand. I understand. And because in England it's quite different than France, you have this gang culture because you're Anglo-Saxon. You have this gang culture, and as a young lad, as a teenager, did you get into a gang, or it was like you with your cousin? It start with your cousins, your brothers, your friends from
No,
the
so
neighborhood. You've been in that.
yeah, so obviously growing up, I see like the older lot will come around in nice cars,
Yeah,
chains, watches. Like anytime I needed money, like they'll give me money. Like it was more like a
yeah,
family thing, if you know what I mean.
yeah. Yes,
So
yes, like us. It's exactly
so
the same.
obviously that's how it started. Just going around the older lot always just looking out for me. And then one day I didn't have money. I was going to college, didn't really have much clothes, struggling to even have a phone. I got my first proper phone when I was like, let's say 17, let's say.
I see. I
So,
see. I get you. I understand you completely, brother. Maybe I'm a bit older than you, brother. And,
yeah,
I've grown
yeah,
up in the 80s,
yeah,
80s, 90s. So I know about this period. And, I see all my friends, from the hood wearing Nikes,
yeah,
Levi's, Redskin leather jackets.
yeah,
And I said,
yeah,
no, I
yeah,
want this
yeah.
shit. I want this shit. I want this shit. So then I start to sell hashish, Moroccan hashish in the street, you
Yeah,
know. And then I make money. I say I make money, and I go to downtown Paris, to buy some nice clothes.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then I come home. I come home with all this new brand stuff, And my mom, she said, very honest parents. I always had honest parents. I have honest parents, and they tell me, "Where did you get this? Where did you get this?" And I said, "I found them in the street." I was, I was
it's always the way, man.
and you have to lie. And then she never trusted me, my mom, because I was quite savage, And then she
Yeah.
cut my Levi's with the scissors, and I got so upset. And I said, "Ah, yeah, you do that? I'm going to buy again." So I was doing this, and it was crazy. And and our parents, unfortunately, it's a pattern. A lot of kids,
Yeah,
like you, like me. we drive them nuts a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
So God
yeah,
bless them, I would say.
yeah. No, definitely. Obviously, for me, it was I started off selling a bit of weed, but to be honest with you, I kept fucking up, like, because obviously I had expensive taste, so I'd always fuck up with re-up money. Then from then it escalated to harder drugs, me selling harder
Yes.
drugs, and
Yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it because this is
yeah,
the questions I would like to ask you.
yeah,
So yes, and of course, because selling weed doesn't make that much money, to be honest, in the street, you know.
yeah,
Unless you make it big scale, you know, you say like
yeah,
big scale, then you can make money, and it's an everyday business. Is what I said to the people. You know, weed and hash business is an everyday business because
yeah,
it's not a
yeah,
hard drug, you know,
yeah.
but still. So you got arrested. How can I say? What can I say exactly? How can I say that in English? You're doing your little business, you know, weed business. How did you start exactly? You start with a little ounce. You bought half a kilo. How did you start? How did you level up? I would
Yeah,
say, bro.
I started from a half ounce, let's say, and then I worked my way up.
Okay,
I
but
worked my
you,
way up.
yeah, but you say that you have a expensive taste. So because me, I was in the cocaine business, but I wasn't a dealer. I was just
Yeah,
the logistic guy. You know, I was in
yeah.
charge of the transport. You know, from the West Indies to Europe. So, how did you get? You know, how did you get to that field? How did you get to the cocaine business, brother? That's the thing.
So without saying too much,
Yeah.
so like the older guys in my area, let's say, would pull up in like flashy cars and stuff like that, and then obviously one time a friend brought me round them, and then it was just I was just fascinated about just everything what I saw. Like you could make like £5,000 in one day, and back then I was selling weed, and I'm thinking, right, I'm not even making this much money selling weed than what they're doing. So that that's when like, I started to just get involved in selling harder drugs and stuff like that.
But as a young lad, brother, you know, as a young lad, because I had this discussion with my brother from Tottenham, SP. He runs, Delinquent Nation podcast. You know, I would like to get you to get into that podcast. I will hook you up with him. You have so many nice things to say. And he told me, and he was asking me that question: do you think that is grooming the young lads? You know, those big brother grooming the young lads to get into
I
dealing
wouldn't say it
drug,
was grooming. I wouldn't say it was grooming because like
or you take your
grooming.
own decisions?
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't forced. I wasn't forced. So like for me, it was more of a thing of like I wanted to become. I was the man of the house, innit? So there's things where bills had to be paid,
Yeah.
and me selling weed, it wasn't cutting it. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
also, where I was smoking weed myself, I ended up with the majority of the time was smoke majority of my profit. So
Yeah, that's the problem.
yeah,
That's the problem. Don't touch your own shit. That is what they say. And you know what, brother? You know, like really, really big guys, man. Like really big guys, like multi millionaires. You know, like big boss. And, you know, and all of them that I know, they never even smoked one puff of cigarette, not even one sip of alcohol. You know, and those guys, you know, they are focused and they succeeded in that illegal business.
yeah,
You know, so
yeah,
they all, yeah, and this is the conclusion I had. You know, when you don't smoke the shit or you don't use it or you don't
yeah,
you keep a healthy life, you know, you succeed because you are focused on it. You know, and you have this type of discipline, I would say.
yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, so yes, you were making your money. You know, you start to buy your chain. You know, you start to
Yeah.
get your watches. I guess it wasn't the watches from Hatton Garden from the shop like the stolen ones. We start with the stolen ones.
My first watch was the Aqua
Okay,
Master.
Aquamaster, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
that was the
so
first start, and then the AP. When it started, the AP.
when I got further up the food chain, you know.
Yeah, but brother, you've been doing your business because now you can talk about this because you've been in prison,
I've been a
but you've
free,
been in.
yeah, 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 definitely, definitely. I'm no longer part of that life anymore. I'm more on the legitimate side, like trying to open up business now. I'm focused on my music career. So
Yeah, but we're gonna get to the music, brother, because you've been hustling in the street. You've been hustling with your friends. You've been hustling with your family. You've seen the big brothers like hi, like hi. I want to be like them. You start to make your own money. But when did you get into the rap music and the drill music? How did you get as a
so
young
from
bro?
young, from a kid, I've always done music, like always since like the age of 10, let's say. I've always
Okay,
done music. Do you know what I mean? So it started off. I remember I done my first track with my one of my cousins and one of the older guys in my area. And the first track that we did back then it was MySpace. Don't know
okay,
if you remember
I
MySpace.
remember MySpace, like really
Yeah,
old
so
shit, man. Very
yeah,
old.
so it started from there. So I done a track, and well, I was the youngest kid on the track. The track went around the whole borough. So obviously, I went to a school called Thomas Tallis. My cousin
Okay,
went to a school called John Roan, and then the other guy went to a school called what's that school called Kidbrook School.
okay.
Yeah, I believe the name's changed now.
Yeah.
So the track was just circulating, 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 and then before you know it, like I wouldn't say a buzz, but everyone knew me from that track because I had a very squeaky voice back then. You know what I mean? So it
Yeah,
started off from
before.
that. It just
Yeah.
started off from that one track that I made, and then growing up in school, like talent shows and stuff like that. I would go do the talent shows. So from young, I've always been in tune with music. Like in the household, there's always music playing. My mom's cooking. When she's driving, she's playing African music. It's
Yeah.
called Afro beats now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
music's always had the impact in my life, let's say. And then growing up, like being on the roads and whatnot, I just started. I wasn't serious. I was just mucking about. Like how it started, I would just be rapping for like the older lot, like, and like they would just pay me money just to rap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll just be
Very,
rapping bars.
very interesting story, brother. What you say, about you always been around music because in your household you used to listen the music from back in Africa. Your family.
Yeah.
Maybe rumba. Rumba, African rumba. Do you know Kofi Olomide, Papa Wemba from
Yeah, yeah,
Congo?
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, man, I love rumba. Man. I love it. Kofi Olomide, Papa Wemba,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
all those legends from the rumba
yeah,
style. African
yeah,
music.
yeah,
So, brother, because me, also when I was young, I was watching my dad. I'm North Africa, and he's listening to this music from his mountain, like proper music from his
yeah,
mountain.
yeah,
Sitting down, and putting his head like this and just listening, not even
yeah,
doing like that, just listening to the music. So we have us African, we have this bond with music, and we have
yeah.
this ear,
That
we have
groove,
this,
yeah,
yeah, exactly, this groove, yes, exactly. So yes, but bro, because I don't know much about the drill history, but you started as a rapper, isn't it? Not a
yeah. So
drill art.
basically, so drill now is the same tempo as grime.
Okay.
So I started off as a grime MC, and then obviously after grime, I started rapping, like actually rapping, and then I went prison, and then when I come out, I said, right, I wanna. Well, the first time I went prison, and I come out because even in prison, like I was 18 when I first
Okay, that was your
got,
first sentence.
yeah, and
How
I
long?
was in the first sentence was 3 years.
Oh, that's heavy.
Yeah, but
Heavy,
over
very heavy.
UK we do half of that, so 3 years. So I've done 18 months.
Yeah, but when you do 3 years and you do half of that, you need to have like very good behavior. For example, myself,
Yeah.
in total, I had 8 years, but I've done 7 years. Because
Wow.
I didn't behave
Yeah.
very well, brother.
Can
So
imagine. I
that,
can imagine. So yeah, when I was in prison, a lot of people would be rapping, and I would jump in, and everyone would be like, "Raw, nah, he's hard, he's hard, he's hard." So obviously from then, like I kind of knew that, right, I had something, you know what I mean? Because I've always
Yeah.
been writing, always like even when I was outside on the roads doing what I was doing, like music's my therapy, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm
and it's very
always
nice. Yeah,
writing
yeah,
lyrics, always writing
yeah.
lyrics. So when I'm
You
in
are a very good
jail,
storyteller. You are a very good
yeah,
storyteller. That's why I follow your page, but then I
yeah,
listen to your music properly. You know.
yeah, yeah.
So,
So
yeah,
oh yeah, so boom, so I was in prison rapping because I was in a jail with a lot of older people. So there's a lot of older people that was rapping. And when I come through and I started rapping, everyone was feeling it. And that's when I kind of knew that, right, I think that I actually kind of believe in my talent. I know I've got a talent,
yeah.
but it's just using that talent the right way. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously, unfortunately, I come out, I done one, two. Well, it come a bit later, innit? Like I was still writing, recording music, and then I released a video, and then from that video, things just kind of just picked up from there. My first video was called Straight Off the Block, and I was around 2014, I would say,
Okay,
2014, and then
okay,
obviously I would. But I was very slow, so I would drop a video, and then like another year later, I'll drop another video. A few months later, drop another video. But then it's when I went to prison on my second case that I actually said to myself, I need to make this happen. Because unfortunately, my second sentence, I got 6 years.
yeah,
And
heavy.
on on that sentence that I
What
was doing,
was it for drugs? AP? Was it for
yeah,
drugs? The
for
first
drugs, yeah,
one? For the first?
conspiracy, yeah, the first one was conspiracy to supply county
Okay,
lands.
okay,
And I was 18 when that first one happened. And then I got arrested again 4 years later for the same thing again. So when I went jail for this the last time I went jail, I lost my little brother to
okay.
cancer.
Bless him. Yeah, man.
So
I feel you.
so from there, like it was, and obviously my brother, he was one of my biggest fans. You know what I mean? Believed in me from young. Always would tell people about me. Always would say like one day I'm gonna make it big. Do you know what I mean? So when I was in prison, I promised him that when I come out, I'm gonna focus on music and really pursue this as a career.
Okay.
So it's when I come out now, I actually like dedicated myself to music and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be a rapper now and yeah,
Just
that's how it started.
yeah, and just a little thing, just to get back to the prison time, brother, because you went at a young age, 18 is very, very young, to get
Yeah,
yourself in the adult prison.
yeah,
I guess, how was it, when you arrived in prison? Did you have your mates there from your hood? Did you know any people? How did you feel about that? Did you get scared? Because I've
yeah.
been to prison. I've been to prison young, and I've been to prison also in UK, brother. In England, that's
Yeah,
Scrubs. If you know Scrubs, that shit
yeah. I've
hole,
been,
you
I
know.
was in the scrub on my last sentence. Yeah,
Ah, man, I was in the C wing. It's clubs, bro.
see,
The
I was
drug
in
addict
E-ring, I think.
with the drug addicts, man. I have so many stories in this shit hole, bro.
I can imagine. I can
Ah, man.
imagine.
So, how did you feel? To be honest, how did you feel? Did you find
Um,
friends there? You felt secure at a certain time, or you were like this tough guy that no
Obviously, the
one fuck
first
with you?
sentence the first sentence that I got remanded, and
Okay,
it was me and my friends. So like, there was like, I believe there was like four of us in the same prison.
okay, that's good.
But out of all of them, I'm the only one that ended up getting sentenced. So everyone else got bail, and then they got NFA, so no further action. But because of the evidence that they had on me, I ended up doing time for it.
Okay,
So from there, from my first jail I went to was Felton. So I first got arrested when I was 17 actually, but I wouldn't even call that. I didn't even do a sentence. I was in there for like
okay,
2 weeks, let's say,
yeah,
and then I was back out. But then when I was 18, I got charged with conspiracy to supply Class A. They sent me to Peterborough jail. That was 2011. So they sent me to Peterborough jail, and then from Peterborough, when I got sentenced, I went to Glen Parva, and then
Okay.
from Glen Parva, because Glen Parva is quite it's very far out, so I wasn't
Okay.
getting no visits there. I
Yeah, it
got
was
an
difficult.
application to go closer to London, so they took me to a prison called Little Hay, that's in Huntingdon. So
Okay.
from there, I got my release from Huntingdon.
Okay, I understand. And yeah, it's and did the because you know prison breaks the family bonds and the family links. Did it break the links with your family when you've been in
No, you
jail?
know, no,
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 you
it
had the
didn't.
support from
Yeah,
the
I
family,
had the
from the
support.
mother.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely,
Okay. Okay,
definitely.
brothers. So you go because I've seen some videos of you. It was your second time in prison. All those
Yeah,
videos rapping.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was my second time.
What year? What year?
That was
Which year?
2018. So I went
Okay.
jail 2016 for the second case,
Yeah.
and then but the videos you saw that was around 2018, I would say.
Okay. And you are. It was also for cocaine,
Yeah,
selling
yeah.
cocaine, but crack cocaine,
Crack,
normal
yeah,
cocaine.
crack cocaine conspiracy to supply county lines again. So
It's good money, crack cocaine, isn't it?
yeah, 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 yeah.
It's all day long, isn't it?
24 hours, man, 365, non-stop, literally.
You know, because when I was in London, I met those guys, you know, from the hood, you know, the Jamaicans, you know, those
Yeah,
Nigerians, man, driving Ferraris, you know, and then
yeah,
selling all day long cocaine, man, all
yeah,
day long.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, so they make some good money. But the problem with the street selling is that you don't last too long.
yeah.
Uh,
You don't, unfortunately, man. You don't,
yeah,
still, you don't. Well, I would say the second time round, I lasted a lot longer than I did the first time,
yeah.
But with conspiracy, they never caught me with any drugs. It's just
Okay,
phone. I've never even caught with drugs in my life. It's just phone links. So this person connected to this person ringing my phone how many times. So
okay,
that's how they
okay.
got me.
And what do you think about let's talk about the coke, you know, because you know here on the show I don't promote the business. I
Yeah,
don't promote the use of the drug because drugs are bad. I have to say
yeah,
it
definitely,
destroys
definitely.
people, it destroys family bonds.
Families, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely,
yeah.
definitely.
So it fucks you up big time.
Yeah, no, it does, it does, it
Yeah,
does.
so that's the problem. But at the same time, I don't judge because I've done it myself since a young age. You know, people they take their own decisions, you know, they do what they have to do for their life to build. It's still a market, there's still a demand, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that because you know, in the other side, on the legit side, they sell already drugs like fentanyl and all these
Yeah,
pills and
yeah.
all this shit, you know. So so that's something unfortunately it's illegal, but there is a big demand.
It's crazy though now because you got certain parts, you got certain countries, world like Amsterdam, you got California where marijuana is legal. Do you know what I mean?
But it's
So
not, you know what, brother? Because I just came back to France. You know, I just came back to France, and sorry, they sent me messages. You know, I just came back to France, and I was living the last 2 years since I got out of prison in Holland. Okay,
yeah, yeah,
first of all, you know, marijuana and hash is not legal; it's just accepted. You know, so
okay,
all those coffee shops when they buy the weed, you know, like for the stock, you know, for the stash, they buy the weed and hash, you know, it's illegal to buy it, but they close their eyes. They just pay the
okay,
tax when they sell it, you know, and they are
okay,
very well watched. You know, there's cameras like from the state, like government cameras in
yeah.
front of many coffee shops, you know, and they do all the calculations. They're very smart, those Dutch people.
Wow.
And and from the cocaine and the hard drugs, also they let people do it because there is a big demand. As long as you don't fuck it up too much and you don't create like a big mess into the society.
See, yeah,
This is what I understood. But otherwise, for example, in France, you know, it's a big market because the country is more 70 million people, big market,
wow.
but they are very hard with us in terms of justice, and especially us North African and black people from Africa, you know, and even the West Indies people because we have French West Indies people also. So when we get caught, they fuck us up big time, you know, and they send
Yeah,
us to
yeah.
prison forever.
Oh mate, you lot bird over there in a joke, man.
Yeah. So I was saying because you were, I would say, selling, over the phone like a lot of people do in the streets. But did you think at a certain time of when you get to a certain level, did you tell to yourself, I would like to get to the next level. Instead of buying it in England, I buy it to the source, West Indies,
Yeah,
South America.
definitely, innit? I don't want to talk too much on that, innit? But
Okay.
yeah, definitely, innit? Definitely, 100%.
Okay, okay. It was before, brother, because me too. I always thought like this, and I remember back in the days when I was living in London, the 1 kilo of coke was 50,000 pounds.
Yeah,
It was
but then
crazy price.
if you go to somewhere like, let's say, Peru or Colombia, the price there is a big difference. Do you know what I mean? So
Yes, it's a big difference, because I'm telling you, maybe I never thought about that to you. We never had this discussion. What I was doing myself, it was to be in charge of all the logistic, to bring the coke from Peru, from the mountain, from the laboratory, go and check the stamp, go and check the quality, make the testing, with the Colombians, because nowadays the Colombians, they don't produce much in Colombia, they produce in Peru, you know.
true, yeah,
So I went to the laboratories, check whatever, the order from my boss, check the order, make sure that from Peru it goes to Guayaquil in Ecuador. From Guayaquil it goes to the Panama Canal and it arrives at our base in the West Indies. And then from the West Indies, I go back there and it was my job to bring it to Europe through the narco torpedoes. Have you heard about the
I
narco
watched
torpedoes?
your podcast, man. I watched it still.
Okay, you watch it. Yeah.
Very interesting still.
Yeah,
Very
so
interesting.
through the narco torpedoes, because I'm a diver also, so
Yeah,
I was in charge of all this logistic. And in Peru, I used to say it's true, it's between $1,000 and $1,500, you know, out of the laboratory, and depend with what quality, you know. So it's true, but nowadays, nowadays is important. Maybe you're gonna give me some more news because you still have some informations. Some people from some people from England, they told me. Some people from England, they told me, Danny is not worth it, cocaine anymore in England because the price dropped to 20 to 25K. Is that
yeah,
true?
yeah.
So it's not worth it, brother, because if it arrives in England or wherever they bring it in England, it costs up to 10K, for example. You're gonna get
Transportation, definitely.
yes. So it's not worth it, to be honest,
Yeah,
unless you
yeah,
bring big quantities. What do you think about that, brother? Is it worth it, cocaine business?
definitely. You're a bad guy, man. You're a bad guy.
No, sorry, but
Cool.
you don't know it. You're an
Me
artist,
personally,
brother, but you have the
me personally, where I'm an artist, let's say, yeah, for me, it's not worth it, innit? Because of the like, if you get caught, you're gonna do
yeah,
time.
it's heavy,
You know what I
heavy
mean?
time.
So heavy time now as well. So for me, it's definitely not worth it, innit? But it all depends on how you're patterning up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like you said, if it costs that much and then just you're paying £10,000 of transportation, time it gets here, the profit margin is not very,
Yeah, for all the
it's not that
risks.
much for all the
But
risks that you're gonna take as well.
it can be good. Some people they accept it because they have the cops that working with them, so they are secured. When you have the
True.
cops by your side, the customs, the cops, because I said to everyone, wherever you are, America, England, France, there is always cops in this business and the other customs, always, and then they are the one that makes the big money, and they never get
Yeah,
caught.
yeah,
Very rarely.
definitely. That's the game for you though, isn't it? It's a
Yeah.
cycle, isn't it? It doesn't. It just keeps going, and then you know what I mean. So that's how the big sharks
Yeah,
catch
it's
the
true,
little.
but I think the business of the future in the drugs industry is the weed and the hash, brother. I-
Definitely,
Are,
definitely.
are the sentence heavy for weed and hash, for example, exportation?
Nah, nah, nah,
Yeah, this is what
nah,
people tells me. They tell me it's not,
nah.
you take 1 year, you can import hundreds of kilos or
Yeah.
tons.
'Cause do you know what it is, Danny? Yeah. Um, like now I'm older now. Like when I look back at it, And I say to myself, all the risks that I've taken selling drugs and doing that and the time that I've done, I could have been selling weed on a higher scale,
Yeah.
making a lot more with less risk factors. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So, but unfortunately, you live and you learn, innit? You know what I mean?
yeah, it's true, it's true, it's true. Brother, I think we understood, your past criminal life. uh, because I know in England also, I know in England that guys, from the street, can get very violent, with people that they
Yeah,
don't want to pay. They get
yeah,
stabbed like easily,
yeah,
like a piece of cake. So
yeah, yeah.
what is your relation at them? What not relation with violence, but did you get, you had to face some real violent
Yeah,
situation, my
so
brother?
if you can see this side of my face,
Yeah, yeah, I can see. Yeah,
I
yeah,
got
I can see.
I got stabbed in my face when I was I think about 21,
Yeah, yeah,
21. So I don't really want to talk too much on it, but
yeah, yeah. I understand.
that's to do with being on the roads and the street life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we're gonna relate that to the drill because you're a drill artist also
Yeah.
very good I have to say.
Thank you,
Your
brother.
your lyrics are amazing, brother. I'm telling you, I really listen to your lyrics, even though I prefer when you rap. And
Yeah.
you're the only artist who says I rap and drill. I love it when you say it. I rap very good and I drill very good, and that's true.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
Drill artists they don't know how to rap, man. And
Yeah, it's true though, man. It's true. No, look, drill artists can
yeah,
rap like
can
that still.
yeah, yeah. You always said that, and I loved it in your story back in the days. I drill and rap. I
Yeah,
say gangsta.
yeah.
But brother, because the drill culture, talks about the street, talk about this violence, talk about
Yeah,
shooting, talk about dealing, talk about
yeah.
stabbing. What do you think exactly? Did you get because you got
With
that
my
influence?
drill, I don't. How can I say this? So obviously, drill over here is like people are talking about stabbing this person, shooting that person. With me, I don't really talk too much about all of that. My thing is just like
The money.
maybe the money in it, rapping about money in it, and how we used to make money. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I don't really like doing drill a lot because I just feel like a lot of youths nowadays get carried away. Like it's like who stabbed the most person. It's not like who's made the most money this year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, I
like,
understand. But when you talk about doing the money, brother, you know that it's related to violence, brother. So you are
yeah,
conscious
yeah,
about that.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
So, so yes, brother, now your music is good. I have to say, your story is good. Being to prison, rapping in prison, doing some videos. Uh, how did it get? At which level are you now? What is your project in terms of new music right now, brother?
Okay, cool. So I've got a new project that I've just dropped a last single, Two Hood 2.0. So that's Two Hood Part 2. Um, so my next project that I'm dropping right now is called Grown and Sexy. And what I've done with this project, I've jumped on a lot of old school beats from like the 90s to 2000, all the 2000 hits. So it's a 6-track EP. But what I'm
Okay.
doing, I'm just gonna drop it for promotional purpose only because me and the management team, we're having problems with getting the beats clear. So that's why
Okay.
it's even taking some time for the new project to come out. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna drop it on YouTube and SoundCloud only. But
Okay.
I'm also working on 36 Ways Part 2, which should be getting released sometime mid 2024 next year.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But what is this the rap and the drill scene, Is that in England, is that a good money making business? Because we talk about
Definitely,
business.
man.
Yeah.
Definitely. So
It's a big market now.
before I went jail, 2016, there wasn't a lot of artists making money from music, let's say. It's when I went to prison and then I'm seeing a lot of artists that I've done tracks with. For
Yeah.
example, Young Ads from DBE. I've made a track with him. I'm seeing him all all on the TV, every radio station. Again, another rapper, Pot of Paper. I've got done a track with him, and everyone now in the industry is everyone's starting to make a lot of money from music. Like, do you know what I mean? Becoming millionaires from music. So it's now when I was in prison the second time, I told myself, no, when I come out, I'm gonna focus on music and stick to it. And since I've come out, that's what I've been doing. Every couple months, I'll drop a new song, and I'm always making sure I'm dropping projects as well. So
And
now,
and your video clips are banging, brother. I love
yeah.
them. Yeah,
So, man, we're
very
up in
nice.
the levels, man. We're up in the levels. Next year, we're going even upper level. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
fantastic, fantastic.
we're going even upper level. So it's just connected in it with the fans in it. So
Yeah,
when I come home, the first song I've done, I got very good reception. I thought it was gonna go crazy, but it didn't do the
yeah,
numbers that I thought it was gonna do. But what I've managed to do is gain my own fan base now. Where every time when I drop music, my fans they stream it, they add it to their playlist. Do you know what I mean? So now it's just about connecting more with the fans, and also what I've done since I've come home, I've done a lot of traveling. So I've back to release a little documentary that I shot in Ghana. Done a video in Ghana as well,
nice, nice.
working with other artists in Ghana. Been to Nigeria, working with artists in Nigeria, also artists in Germany. So now it's more kind of just right now. What my planning to do is not just over here in the UK. It's worldwide. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah, yeah, very
Because
wise.
my fan base on Spotify, I've got fans from America, France, Germany, all over. Do you get where I'm coming from? So
But
for me, yes,
sorry, brother. Sorry to interrupt you. I just want to say something. Yesterday, I had a meeting with some guys. They are like big producer, like rap producer, big,
yeah,
big guys, you know. They invited me to their offices yesterday. We stayed till very late at night, and I told them, you know, I would like to hook you up with some rapper from England and from Holland. You know, I have like really good guys. You know, maybe we're
yeah,
gonna fit
yeah,
very well. So I would like to hook you up. You know, it's a pleasure, man, to put some friends in contact with other
yeah,
friends.
yeah, yeah. That'll be dope,
I,
man.
yeah, I will hook you up with a nice artist, like he's a brother. His name is Mokro Fifth from Holland, from Amsterdam. I think you
Okay,
can do something really nice together. And I will
yeah,
hook you up with producers from France. They
yeah.
are like big artists with them. Maybe you can go do something together, man. We invite
Definitely,
you with France. You know, it can be good,
definitely,
brother.
definitely, definitely. That makes sense,
So
man.
yeah, yeah, no, definitely, and you need that, man. You need to open, you know, your vision like very, very wide,
Yeah,
you know, to connect to with everyone, and also the African music. You know, everybody's listening to it. You know, with the
yeah, yeah,
Afrobeats music.
yeah, yeah.
So, are you into Afrobeats now, or what?
I wouldn't say nah. So cool. My
Because it's big?
instrumentals now that I'm picking, I've got a lot of Afrobeat sounds in them. So like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Congo drums,
yeah.
the bass guitars. So my next release that I'm gonna drop, you're gonna hear it. But what I'll do, I'll send you some music through
Okay,
WhatsApp,
cool.
some
Okay,
exclusive songs that's not
okay.
out yet, and then yeah, you can vibe to them and let me know what you think.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, brother. Definitely. So, brother, you've been to prison a few times. You know, you've been wild kid, like we always been. You know, you changed your mind because you had a vision. You've seen that in the industry where you are. You write good lyrics. You rap well. You drill well. Now you invest yourself into the music. So you have your plans now. How do you see when you look behind you? You look at your past. How do you feel now? What did it bring you? Are you proud? Do you
I'm not
regret
proud of my
things?
past, innit? I regret a lot of things, innit? Like, obviously, but I will say this, me going through everything what I went through would have is what made me the man that I am today. So in a way, I do regret everything what I've been through, but at the same time, I gained knowledge from it. Do you know what I mean? So like, it's not even just about being street smart. It's just about learning how to read people and knowing your associates, knowing the
Yeah,
company you keep, you know?
yeah. Yeah, I understand, brother. I understand. It's not very. I understand completely. I think. Do you have anything to add? Would you like to share something? Ah, no. Let's talk about the mother business, and let's talk
Yeah,
about food because it's very important. What is your
yeah.
relationship? No, but it's very important. What is your relationship with food? You know, because in
I love
prison, when you,
food, man. I love
yeah.
food, man. I love food. I'm not gonna lie. So I
But
call
you
my
grown up
mum.
in, yeah, sorry. Now, one second,
No,
brother, because you grown up in an African family. So
yeah,
your mom, she cooks like very nice stuff and very
yeah,
spicy stuff, I guess, you know. So
yeah,
what is your
yeah.
relationship with food? Did you learn how to cook with with the influence of your mama? After that, tell us about your mama, what she's doing now, you know,
Yeah,
because we're gonna
yeah,
promote
yeah,
it also.
yeah. So yeah, growing up, I grew up in a lot of African food. So like pounded yam, jollof fries,
Le mafé, you know mafé?
fufu.
Fufu, mafé, chep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
chep.
these are
Yeah.
the kind of food that I was brought up brought up on. So my mum, when I come out of jail, my mum's always been a good cook. Always, like a lot of my friends come over to my mum's house. My mum would cook for them. You know what I mean? So when I come out, I said to her, um, why don't we why don't we start a catering business? And we named it after my brother that passed away. So that's why it's
Yeah.
called Shams Catering. So um so yeah, we started off doing events for people, and it's done really really well. Right now, we're in the process of opening up a shop. So
Fantastic.
next year, the shop will be up and running, and yeah, so that's how when I come out, I just told them, well, let's try this out. Because in life, what I would say, if you don't try it, you would never know. You'll just be guessing. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we tried it, and it's doing well. You know, it's doing well.
Yeah, I think so too. You know, people they like this type of food, you know, that comes kind of
Yeah,
exotic, you know, the taste is
yeah, and
amazing.
where it is now, like we're living in a generation now where a lot of people are embracing the African culture. You know what I mean?
It's
Like
true.
growing up, it was more like Jamaican food and stuff like that. And like back in the days, if you was eating like pounded jam, people would say, "Oh, what's that?" Like it's a
It's
fish.
true.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah, it's
now
true.
people are embracing it, they're liking it. So it makes, for me, it just made all the sense for my mum to
Because
set up her own business. And she
because
loves
after,
cooking,
yeah.
you know?
But did you think, sorry, brother, maybe it's not an idea or suggestion, or you know, I don't give any advice to no one, but because your mama she cooks, but you have other chef also, or you train other people because it's important, you know, to have it last long in case your mama she
Yeah,
can't cook anymore or she's
definitely. So what she's done right now, we've got some chefs over from Nigeria that she's training up to show them the recipe. So with the shop, she don't always have to be there cooking. So
yeah.
they can be there and she can be doing other things.
No, cooking and catering business is very good business, but it's hard. You have to be behind. You have to
Yeah,
calculate everything, man, to
yeah,
make the good profits because it's
yeah.
good profit also. And you put your hands into cooking yourself, or you just managing?
I'm not just
Because you're good
cooking, man.
manager, bro.
Yeah, I'm a good manager, like you say, man. I'm the director, you know. I got the
Yeah,
vision.
yeah.
You feel me?
But listen, yeah, listen, brother. You know, do you have anything else to say? Because I think we made we said quite a lot about you.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add? Do you want to say something specific? A message to send to people?
yeah. I would just say to like everyone listening and taking this in life, if you want to do something, just go for it. Don't
Right.
listen to what a next man's got to say, or "Oh, I don't think you should do this. I don't think you should do that." If you believe in something, go for it, innit? And chase your dream. You know what I mean?